Hey everyone, Greg here, and this video is going to be a little bit different. For one, I'm making a script for the first time, so that's kind of fun, and if it sounds a bit rough, please be patient, as I've never really done this before. Anyway, if you've watched the channel recently, you will have seen that Doug and I have dove headfirst into Powerwash Simulator 2. Whilst playing through the first few levels, I informed Doug about the immense lore of the first game since he hasn't completed it, and I thought it might be fun to do a series on the lore of this game as we play through the levels. Now, that being said, let's get right into it. A brief recap of the first game's lore, or as brief as I can make it. So, going into the first game, we find out quite a bit of insane lore, which we can get a pretty good idea about from the news articles in the office of the new game. The first big mystery of the first game is where have the cats gone? We find the cats in various locations throughout the game, ending with the mayor's cat, Ulysses, who was in the back of our van the entire time. This bit of lore isn't super interesting, but I thought it was worth mentioning as it's the first bit of mystery we get from the initial levels. We then go on to learn that the reason Muckingham is so filthy is due to the nearby volcano Mount Rushless becoming active and spreading ash all over the city, the reasoning for which goes beyond anything we would suspect. After we clean the private jet in the first game, in the process finding some rather odd additions, such as hover engines and what is essentially a death ray, we don't see it again until the final level, where it appears to be attempting an attack on both us and the volcano that we are currently trying to calm via the magic ancient water temple gem that shoots a giant water beam. No, I am not making this up. This leads to some suspicion that we can see further proof of in the article from the second game about Blake Thrust, the billionaire, being the cause of the initial destabilization of the volcano. From this article, we learn that since the events of the first game, he has given up Thrust Industries somewhat suspiciously, which I really hope to learn more about in this game. Anyway, the volcano doesn't erupt because the UFO we cleaned in a previous level comes in and shoots Thrust jet out of the sky, allowing us to use the ancient temple to calm the volcano, seemingly for good. Now, at this point, you may be saying, Greg, what the actual heck are you talking about? A UFO? Ancient temple water beam? Billionaire trying to blow up a volcano? What? To which I will reply, firstly, shush, I'm getting there. And secondly, I am fully aware of how crazy this sounds, but if you don't trust me, look it all up. This happens in the first game. Now, about that UFO. As I previously mentioned, we end up cleaning a UFO in a mission shortly before the end of the game, marked deceptively as clean the recreational vehicle again, where you start the mission and if you're like me, get very confused as you see a very seemingly clean RV parked in the middle of the desert until you approach it. And it shifts into the aforementioned UFO, as we are witnessing before our very eyes. When looking into the article from the second game, we find that theories have been tossed around about the UFO being from some tech startups of Sponge Valley, a place that wasn't really available to us in the original game. I hope to learn more about these theories once we reach this area of the game, but that's for a later episode, and for now it's to wrap up our brief, not so brief recap from the first game. We need to address that ancient temple and the civilization that went with them. The first introduction we get to this ancient civilization, now labeled the Pacifist, as we learn in this game, is through the ancient statue, which, once you finish cleaning, shoots a beam from its forehead into the middle of the desert, which then leads to dismembered hand statue, which points us towards the ancient temple just off the coast of Mount Rushless. Throughout this temple, we get mosaics of all the jobs we have completed up to this point, which when I first realized while cleaning sent me into a moment of reflection and questioning. If this is the ancient civilization, how is there mosaics of the jobs we've done? Why does the central statue have a power washer backpack? And how long is this job going to frickin' take? Once you're done questioning life as you know it, you finish the job, the crystal appears atop the temple, and once you finish cleaning it, a beam shoots towards Mount Rushless and the volcano returns to being dormant. Now, this video isn't about the first game's lore, but rather an intro to the new game's lore. But I did figure it would be worth giving a recap for anyone who wasn't aware of just how insane this game can get. But it's time to dive into the new lore. If you would like a video series on the original game's lore, let me know in the comments. I would be totally willing to do it. I just wanted to get through this game as we're playing it currently, rather than jumping into the old game after I've already played it. Into the Powerwash 2 lore. There isn't much in the way of lore in this first level, admittedly, but we do get a few answers to the questions many returning players will have about the continuity from the first game. When you open the game, you start off in our new office, which is the game's main lobby, something that was noticeably missing from the first game. After taking a quick look around, the first thing you will notice is the map and a few nice little Easter eggs from the first game. These consisting of a small stegosaurus on the shelf, referencing the stego slide from the playground we cleaned in the previous game, and there's also even a picture of us going down the playground slides right above it on the shelves. The map allows us to see that 8 new locations have been added since the first game. The 3 from the first game being Muckingham, Mount Rushless, and the Muwaku Itu Desert. I have no idea how to pronounce this. This also gives us a pretty good idea of where most of the events of the first game take place, while also bringing about the much larger question of why is the rest of Caldera County dirty this time, and a question I hope will be answered fairly shortly. Now, the text messages are going to be our main source of information on the story behind what's happening in between games. The first question players returning from the first game might have is, where did all my freaking stuff go, man? Which the game answers through a text during the first mission, informing us that in order to buy our beautiful new office, we unfortunately had to sell all of our equipment. I don't know if I would say this is a good trade necessarily, but hey, we have an office now. These texts come from Harper Shaw, the person who initially sold us the van in the first game, who appears to be our marketing manager or something, as she continues to help spread the word about our business and also finds us work that will benefit, such as cleaning the moving truck that we used to move into our new office, and in the first game, getting us our van. Harper then proceeds to advertise for us to the entire county's group chat, because that's the thing people have, I guess, which brings in our next few jobs after the initial moving truck job. Time for the conclusion. Okay, so now that all that's covered, I wanted to bring attention to the fact that this is obviously not a very long video with a ton of new game lore, but that's kind of all I had to work with from this first level. I will say the few pieces from this level do a great job of giving in universe reasons as to how we have an office, why we lost all our equipment, and even where the new job requests are coming from. This inclusion of dialogue may seem small and unimportant, but it's some of the stuff I love the most when games include it. It shows the developers really care about making this game not just fun to play, but also thought provoking in the story that goes along with it. All in all, this first deep dive has been a little shallow, ironically enough, but it's gotten me excited as to what the future levels bring in terms of lore. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and please consider subscribing. Also, if you did enjoy, let me know if there's anything I should change about these theory videos or what you would like to see in the future, including the initial Powerwash game's lore. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.